paper crane, an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper over Ecuadorian Habano binder with Nicaraguan fillers. Really good stuff, really flavorful. Typically a little more body. This one, great way to start the day. True medium, a little bit smoother with that Connecticut wrapper. Again, this is one of those cigars like other cigars I've talked about. Great in the morning with a coffee, start off the day, but still plenty of flavor and enough body that later in the afternoon, a second cigar, a cigar after a big meal, this will still be an excellent choice because of those flavors and some of that strength, but again, not an overpowering cigar. So we're gonna give this a cut. Today, using this bad boy, the VSOL Joplin. This has got everything. It's got your V-cut, a straight cut, double bladed straight cut, 2 different size punches, cigar rest, even a little draw poker there if you got some draw issues. Flip it up, 4 flames. This thing works great every time. We sell a ton of these, and just a cool all-around gadget. Now, this is like that Swiss Army knife. You got all your cutters, you got a lighter, got a big tank in there, plenty of fuel. Check those out. I believe they're around $79.95, something like that. Few different finishes, maybe like 6 or 8 different finishes. I kind of like this copper one. I think it looks pretty neat. Give it a light, and then after we give it a nice toast here, we'll get into it. And you always want to kind of hold your lighter away. You don't want to jam that flame, char that end of that cigar. See a lot of people trying that. That thing throws some heat. You can hold it, definitely a distance off the cigar, and it's still going to toast it perfectly. Box press on this cigar. Draw is perfect, very smooth. You like a Connecticut, nice medium body. You want a Connecticut with a little more body to it, nothing that's too mild. Again, check it out. I could tell it's you because you come in like Kramer. The door flings open, the door's closed. You're all over the place.
I was ready to say hello.
Even quiet, not saying anything. I still knew it was you.
Have fun.
All right, see ya. Box press there. Nice smooth draw. So far we're burning excellent. Plenty of flavor. Like I said, a little bit of pepperiness, but not enough to burn me out in the morning. So keep smoking it, and we're going to see how it goes the rest of the way. I'm expecting good things because everything I've had from them has been really good. Even though it's got that light wrapper on it, a lot of people, like to think, oh, the lighter the cigar, the milder. Decent rule of thumb if you're kind of starting off, if you're getting into it. However, it's not set in stone. You can have a Connecticut wrapper that does kind of, the wrapper might mellow something out or kind of smooth it out, still have some body, still be medium, still have some pepperiness. And then same thing going the other way. You can have a dark Maduro that just looks like this real strong, heavy cigar, but it's all in the blending. It could be extremely dark, extremely oily, look very rich, and still be a very rich cigar, have tons of flavor, but be medium in body, not heavy in pepper, not heavy in spice that's going to burn out your palate or really beat you up if you like something a little bit milder or a true medium. There are some darker cigars, plenty of darker cigars that fit that profile, as well as some lighter cigars. So if you're starting off, I do tell people a good rule of thumb is look at the shade of the wrapper, but that's kind of like when you're just getting into it, just to give people some precaution on going in. And then once you smoke a few different things, you jump around and really start to zero in on what you like. That's when, you can play with, all right, well, I want something with a lighter wrapper, but has more body, or I want something with a darker wrapper that doesn't have as much body, or vice versa, or all over the spectrum. If you're starting off, you can kind of gauge it like that. I just say that to be safe. Like I said, it's not set in stone. You can be surprised by certain cigars if they deliver something that you weren't expecting. But this one fits a ton of profiles. This one would fit, be a cigar for a lot of different cigar smokers, in the sense that, like I said, it's not overpowering, but there is a little spice, a little pepper, a little, that this wrapper keeps it a little bit smoother. So you stay like a true medium with a little spice, and you don't get burned out. You don't get, kicked in the face. So if you like a mild cigar, but you want to dip your toe into something a little bit fuller, a little bit spicier, this is a great starting point because it doesn't get overpowering, but it does introduce you to things like a pepperiness and a little bit of that body and that spice that comes along with some of the tobaccos that they use in this, but still approachable. This cigar, I feel like is kind of unique in itself, being that we have quite a few Connecticut shade, Connecticut style cigars. This is the Ecuadorian Connecticut. And in years past, decades go by, Connecticut used to mean like mild. It seemed like be like a blanket statement. Now we've got quite a few that get into a medium, I like the creaminess or the smoothness or whatever flavor they might zero in on in a Connecticut wrapper, a shade grown wrapper, but want something more. And that's where a cigar like this delivers. We've got, like I said, a couple other ones that do hit that true medium, still with a Connecticut shade, but I don't think have the pepperiness that this one might have. I'll smoke Connecticut's in the morning and some in the afternoon. I tend to zero in or look for more medium bodied cigars. So I don't have a lot of Connecticut cigars folded into the mix because it's not the typical characteristic of them, but the ones that do it definitely enjoy smoking. And depending on the morning, sometimes I am looking for something a little bit lighter, something a little bit smoother that doesn't really have a pepperiness or a real strength to it. But then I'll fold some into the mix. But this cigar, like I said, is kind of unique in the sense that it has that pepper, it has a little body, some great flavor, while still maintaining very approachable smoke for any aficionado, connoisseur, whatever you want to call yourself. Blackworks Studio, Black Label, the two brands that we carry coming out of Ovieja Negra. Really good stuff. Yeah, this another week gone by. More football happened. My Jags were on bye week. Good news is they couldn't lose. It's always a great week. Jets fans, you're not defeated anymore. You got to win. You should be happy. I know my dad is, I guess. It's only one win, but look at the bright side. Dolphins decided to show up and play, I guess. Still have no real answers for your team, but hey, a win's a win, right? You had the Giants SOL there. We haven't really found out what is going to happen with that situation. Ravens and Dolphins coming up. Should be an easy win for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson's back. But hey, if the Dolphins decide to show up and play, might be a good game. Ravens been a little shaky. Record's not too great, but Jackson's been out. I think everyone's going to kind of pick the Ravens in that game. But the season's been a little screwy. Everything I've picked, I feel like I've been wrong on. So, what do I know? Don't listen to me. We potentially got the end of the World Series. I think everyone thought the Dodgers had it. Toronto showed up, played some great baseball. Game the other night goes 18 innings. I'm sure everybody on the West Coast was able to stay up for it. Here it ended at like 2:30 or 2:40. I don't know anyone that really stayed up for the whole thing. Dodgers pulled that one out. But then Toronto comes right back and just plays ball. I mean, that was just don't want to say easy win, but they seemed to cruise right through that win. Rookie pitcher throwing an excellent game. Dodgers just couldn't do anything against him. Toronto got a few runs, and that seemed like, from then on, it was kind of over. Dodgers really didn't have anything to go up against them, so we'll see if they finish that off. Halloween night, definitely looking forward to that. But, hey, if the Dodgers pull it out, we got one more game left after that. Probably a lot of candy laying around. If you're like my house, you overbought, you tried to hand it all out. Maybe you save some for yourself. Get your favorite chocolate. And save some, put some aside when you're sitting out, having a cigar. Have a little piece of that chocolate. Goes really well. I wouldn't recommend fruit candies. Eat what you want, though. Drink what you want when you're smoking a cigar. Now we're rolling into Thanksgiving season. Now we're gearing up for the day of cooking and eating and football and hopefully enjoying some really good cigars with a nice drink. Weather this weekend down here is phenomenal. All of us Floridians got our winter jackets out this morning. I think it was like 54. So, air is crisp. It's getting dry. Having a cigar on the patio is now just that much better. There is no sweating. There is no uncomfortable humidity. So really looking forward to it. Rolling into Thanksgiving, we're probably going to have some more releases. We just got in the 5 Temples of 7 Fists of Shaolin. Kind of a lengthy name there from Blackworks. Fuente is going to be probably dropping their holiday stuff. We'll start seeing that now that we're rolling into November. We get that fall release, that holiday release stuff. Viaje is going to probably, I'm sure, will be doing their fall and holiday editions. We'll see as those press releases come out. But some really cool stuff to look forward to, some really fun stuff to smoke during the holidays, and some special stuff to have on those occasions, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever you might be celebrating. You're gonna have plenty to smoke. Keep an eye out. I've got some Fuente stuff I know that's coming. That's gonna be real fun, real exciting. So we'll definitely show that off when it comes in. But we're just rolling into that season. We got a few months now. The snowbirds, I'm sure you're coming down. Weather's better. It's a time to have the doors, the windows open, grab a good cigar. Paper Crane, Blackworks Studio. Remember to check them out. If you can't find them, we got them. Give us a call. Stop in.